This is a chart of the political parties Ohioans voted for in the last election for the House of Representatives. And this is a chart of the parties that actually got voted in. If you think this seems unfair, you'd be joining about 70% of Americans who agree. Today, I'll be presenting a plan that tackles this issue, not just in Ohio, but in each of the 41 states that still allow gerrymandering and are ready for a change. And I'll explain why this is an issue that deserves your financial backing. Unfair election results like these are the result of gerrymandering, which has long been a major structural problem in our democracy. Every 10 years, congressional districts are redrawn, but they're usually drawn by the party in power who uses a privilege to give themselves an unfair advantage. By packing their voters into districts and splitting up opposing voters, the party in power can easily redistrict their state in a way that helps tip the scale in their favor. With computer technology, legislators can easily secure wins for themselves before the race even starts. If we want fair districts, we need to remove legislators from the map drawing process. The good part is that some states have already figured out how to do this by creating independent redistricting commissions. How does this affect you? Great question. Through gerrymandering, Americans are stripped of their constitutional right to have fair representation. This not only affects the people they represent, but all Americans, as leaders are unfairly elected to federal offices. When politicians have an unfair advantage that allows them an easier win, they have less of an incentive to win swing voters. In 2016, the House of Representatives had landslide victories in 74% of races, and 15% were won without any major party opposition. Because candidates in gerrymandered districts don't have to win support from both sides, this allows individuals with much more extreme views to be elected. This extreme partisanship creates a hostile environment that results in less getting accomplished, even the things that you want them to accomplish. We can stop gerrymandering by reforming the map drawing process by transferring it to independent redistricting commissions. These commissions will be made up of bipartisan group of citizens. These commissions would allow the redistricting process to be more transparent by broadcasting public meetings to ensure accountability. They would also be in charge of creating and following rules as to how districts should be drawn. Arizona serves as an example of how to successfully implement independent redistricting commissions. Arizona's commission consists of 5 members with no more than 2 members per political party and is currently ranked as the fairest congressional map in the United States. Our message will target eligible voters in states who do not have independent redistricting commissions and will be broken down into 2 groups. In these states that allow voters to place a constitutional amendment directly on the ballot, our goal will be to convince voters to vote yes for the constitutional amendment. In states that don't have these ballot measures, we will be advocating for electing candidates that will propose constitutional amendments to create independent redistricting commissions to replace politicians in the map drawing process. For both ballot measures and election campaigns, grassroots organizing will be crucial in getting our message out. We will reach out to community leaders in every community in every state to have real conversations about the importance of electing individuals who advocate for this legislation. Our community leaders will include church leaders, community activists, political leaders, school leaders, and business leaders. We will have video calls and in-person briefings for these community leaders to create a feeling that we're all in this together and are all a very important part of the process. We will also provide our community leaders with talking points and a website to point people to, as well as flyers to share with their community about what they can do to stop gerrymandering. The website will contain action steps for individuals to take, including a link with information on how to register to vote, a link to donate, as well as a link to sign up for an email newsletter. Website metrics, including referrals, duration, impressions, and email signups, will be calculated. We will also take metrics for donations, and we will use all of this information to adjust our campaign as needed. We'll also make sure they have copies of the videos we create so they can share those as well. What videos? Great question. While these groups will be targeted with slightly different messages, some voting on a ballot measure, others voting for individuals, We will use the same techniques to reach them. Because of our large audience, our goal is to create content that will quickly spread through social media. While gerrymandering is a serious topic, it also lends itself fairly well to comedy. In fact, a gerrymandering video created by John Oliver has racked up over 11 million views on YouTube. This shows us that there is definitely comedic interest in this topic. The way legislators can draw districts into strange shapes that give them an unfair advantage in elections is frustrating, but there can also be comedy found in the strange shapes that emerge from gerrymandering. Also, the fact that this practice is so shady, but yet so widely acknowledged and accepted as normal is oddly funny. I would pull these ideas together to create a funny video mocking the absurdity of gerrymandering. I think this would be well received because, like we said earlier, 70% of Americans are concerned about gerrymandering. By creating comical video content that our viewers are likely to agree with, we increase our chance that our followers and community leaders will share it with their audience, and those they share it with will share it as well. We will provide all stakeholders with talking points, videos, and graphics to share on social media. We will also reach out to media outlets to arrange interviews. Right-leaning news outlets and figures will be given messaging on how Democrats have gained unfair advantages because of gerrymandering. Left-leaning news outlets and figures will be given messaging on how Republicans have gained unfair advantages because of gerrymandering. This will help ensure that each outlet is speaking to their base and getting them motivated to act. Video content metrics, including impressions, likes, shares, and comments, will be calculated from our community leaders. We will use this information to adjust our campaign as needed. In states that allow voters to place a constitutional amendment directly on the ballot, our goal will be to convince voters to vote yes for the constitutional amendment. This goal will be measured by the passage of the amendment. In the remaining states, we will advocate for electing candidates that propose constitutional amendments to create independent redistricting commissions to replace politicians in the map drawing process. Our goal will be the election of specific candidates whose platform includes proposing constitutional amendments to create independent redistricting commissions to replace politicians in the map drawing process. This goal will be measured by the election of the preferred candidate. Gerrymandering is a sign our democracy is broken. But anything broken is worth fixing, and I would love to have you join me on that journey.